What's up, guys? Welcome back to Gladiators Tribe, and it's time for the last top of the series, and what's probably going to be my favorite top, because this is going to be my top 5 favorite rackets of 2024. And this top is just going to include exactly that, my top 5 favorite rackets. The ones that I love the most throughout the year and those that fit my game the best. As you know, my racket of choice is the Head Gravity Pro, but apart from my favorite Gravity Pro, there are of course some other rackets that I really loved reviewing, playing with them, and I wouldn't even mind switching to them. And this top is going to be exactly that. And because this is the top 5 of my favorite rackets, I came to one of my favorite locations on the planet right now, which is Andorra. So that's why you're seeing this beautiful view. But anyways, let's start with the top. And by the way, as you can tell, I finally ended up getting the RF bag that I've been planning to get a very long time ago, but yes, I finally did it. Did a little bit of a gift for myself, and inside of this beautiful bag are all of the rackets. And let's start with racket number 5. Oh yeah, I gotta mention that obviously my Head Gravity Pro is not going to be included in the list because everyone knows that that's, the racket that I play with, so it's obviously my current favorite. But with that out of the way, let's get to our top 5. But actually, it's not even a top 5, it's technically a top 6. You'll see why, but anyways, the first racket on the list, a racket that didn't really make it into this top technically because it's the RF Pro, and I don't consider it to be my favorite racket, and very far from that, because I wouldn't say that I enjoyed it the way I was expecting to like it and the way I was expecting to enjoy it. I don't consider it my favorite racket, but it just really well fits with this bag, and it's one of the prettiest rackets, so I just had to include it in this. But no, this is not number 6. This is just a very pretty looking racket. That's it. But yes, although it's not making the top, I still wanted to mention it because it's very good looking, and it, I don't know. And I know that many people like it, so yeah, I'll put it there. But now is when the real stuff starts and when the actual top is starting. And right after the RF Pro, it would make sense to include the racket that is kind of endorsed by one of the other legends of the sport, and one that has just recently retired and broke our hearts just like Roger Federer did 2 or 3 years ago. And it is the Babolat Pure Aero Rafa Origin. This is a racket that I have recommended. It was one of the top 5 best rackets, I think it was in 2023. And this is obviously not a racket that fits a lot of players, and this is not a racket that many players will like because it's super heavy. The balance is, really in the head, and it's quite hard to play with this frame. But nevertheless, if you can handle it, if you can handle the weight, and you can deal with that swing weight, it's a wonderful frame. The amount of power that it produces, the amount of spin that you're able to generate, and just the pure stability of the racket, it's uncomparable to any other racket on the market that is so spin and power focused. This had to be on this list, and yeah, I just really like it. It's not for everyone, but that's why this list exists. Let's put it over here. Oh, I love how the Pure Aero is sitting right on top of the RF, kind of like Federer and then Rafa, and then yeah. By the way, Glads, in this video I'm not going to be giving any detailed reviews and specs of any of these rackets, and if you want to see the detailed reviews of any of these frames, the links to those reviews are going to be down in the description below, so check them out over there. And also, if you decide that you want to get any of these rackets, the links to get them are also going to be down in the description below, together with our awesome discount code that will save you some cash. It also really helps the channel. And by the way, right now, as you probably know, is the week of Black Friday and all of these crazy discounts and deals and stuff. So if you were thinking of maybe buying a racket for yourself or for your friend or for your family member or for whoever, maybe right now is a good time. So yeah, check those links down in the description below, and let's get back to the top. Let's move on to racket number, 5. We're into the top 5, and the racket number 5 is actually not the one I have in the bag. Head Prestige Tour. Not this one, guys. No, this is a very, very old Head Prestige, and it's not even the Tour, and it's actually pro stock, and it's broken, but I just needed some kind of prestige to put in this top. But this is not the racket. The racket that I'm talking about is the Tour version that I actually reviewed not that long ago. I was super surprised because it's a 95-inch head, and yet it feels like, almost like, I would say, a 98-inch head. And the stability is great, the feel is incredible, the control is just sniper precise, and I don't know, I was really surprised by the Prestige lineup. I like Prestige rackets in general, but the Tour version of the 2023 was just a big thumbs up for me. I really loved it, even considered switching to it, but the 95-inch head is still, you know, kind of like a hard thing to switch to, because, you know, the margin, although it doesn't feel like a 95, in my head it's still like, you know, if I don't move my legs well enough, or if I don't hit the sweet spot perfectly, you know, the ball might not fly the way I want it to, and that's why I'm not, you know, I'm not switching. But also just the looks of the racket, Jesus Christ. For me, it's the best looking racket out there, simply because, you know, it's the Gladiators colors. So yeah, the Head Prestige Tour, not this one, the 2023 version, is definitely making this list as one of my favorite rackets. And we're putting it on number, what's that, 4, I think. Yes, moving on to racket number 3. No, wait, hold on, that's actually racket number 5. And we are moving on to racket number 4. And it is the Head Speed Pro, the racket endorsed by Novak Djokovic. And it'd be cool if it was just right under the Prestige, but I do have to say that I like this racket more than I like the Head Prestige, because it's exactly because of that, because it's a little bit, you know, there's more margin for error, there's more margin to not hit the exact sweet spot. But then it's an 18x20, which means control is on spot, yet it's a 100-inch head, which allows for decent spin, really good margin, and pretty decent power. And it's pretty much just the perfect racket if you want to go into the control oriented territory, but you don't want to go as far as the Head Prestige or even the Head Gravity Pro, and you still want a little bit of margin to be able to play with some room for mistakes, for errors, and, you know, just for some imperfections. And this is a beautiful racket. This paint job is one of the best looking rackets in my opinion right now. And although this is actually the Head MP, the Head Speed MP, I just couldn't find the Head Speed Pro. That's why this one is making it into this video. The Oxetic 2.0 really fits this racket a lot. I do prefer it, the feeling of the Oxetic in the MP, but it still is a really good addition to the Head Speed Pro as well. It adds even more feel and even more stability to every shot and makes it a little bit more, you know, of like a comfortable plow through, which I really like. And yes, it's a well-deserved 4th spot on the list. Boom. And we're already at the top 3. And as I like to say, the bronze medalist of the list. And I actually forgot what it is. Oh yes, it is. I bet you don't expect it to be this, but yes. The Technifiber TF40 315. And by tradition, this is not the exact racket that I'm talking about. This is the 305, but don't mind that. The 315 18x20 version of the TF40 surprised me so much. And honestly, the TF lineup has always fit my game really well and would just fit me like a glove right away from the first rallying in the warm-up. And, you know, I feel really attached to this racket. And the only reason why I haven't switched to it, I think like a year ago, was maybe the paint job that I absolutely hate. Like, honestly, what is this, guys? Like, come on. Who came up with this design? French people are usually good with designs. I don't know what this is all about. But anyways, 18x20, very control oriented. Of course, 315 grams, pretty heavy, 98-inch head. So this is like a super control oriented racket. You know, it's pretty much kind of like in the Wilson Blade 18x20 category. And yeah, if you're looking for control, stability, just like what it says right over here, this is definitely a racket that you should give a shot, because I love the feel and the stability that you get with this. The control is amazing. You're not really, even though it's like a super control oriented racket, you're not even compromising that much on the spin and power. It's just overall really good. And if you don't mind this paint job, or if you maybe even like this paint job, you're weird. But yeah, I mean, if you do, just go for this. But yes, it's again a well-deserved 3rd spot, and I actually gave it really high scores in my reviews. So I guess you could kind of assume that this would be making the top if you're watching Gladiators Tribe and following it a lot. But yes. Boom. And now on to the silver medalist. And this is a racket that has made another top 5 best top thing back in 2023. And it's making this top, I think it made the number 1 last year. This time it's the number 2, but it is the Head Radical Pro. I mean, just look at this beauty. First of all, the paint job, I really like it. I don't know, it's just flamboyant, vibrant, orange. And once again, I kind of feel like you're starting to get the pattern of all of these rackets. They have a lot in common. 98-inch head, control oriented, not that thin of a beam, so it means, you know, a little bit kind of, you know, more power maybe than the Technifiber. But yes, I really enjoyed it. Again, considered switching to this racket back when I reviewed it, gave it some of the highest scores on my review because it's just very good. Again, fit me like a glove, just like the Technifiber, and right away I could feel that this is a racket that, you know, could really suit me. Reason why I didn't switch maybe was the 98-inch head, which sometimes when you hit the ball off the center and off the sweet spot, it was not as forgiving as I'd like it to be. And the reason why I'm playing with the Gravity is because you can kind of, you know, let it go sometimes and not be as precise with your sweet spot, and it will still you know, put the ball in. With this, it's a little bit, you got to be a little bit more talented, I guess, and that's the reason why maybe I didn't switch to it. But it's a really good racket, and I definitely recommend it. I mean, it made the number 2, so yes, let's put it where it belongs. Guys, it is time for the winner of this top, and yeah, pause this video right now and have a wild guess in the comments below of what racket you think it is. Of course, nobody's gonna fast forward and look at what the racket is and then comment, but yeah, guys, be honest, pause the video and comment below what racket you think it is. It is the Wilson Blade V9, Wilson Blade 98 V9, but in the 18x20 version. Back in the top 5 best rackets of 2024, this racket made the top 1 in its 16x19 form. And I said that if it was my top 5 favorite rackets, it would be a different racket. Actually, if this was my top 5 list, I wouldn't put it here. Honestly, I would put something else here. And I won't tell you what. And it would be the V9 Blade, but in 18x20. Guys, this is so good. I really love this racket, and I'm not gonna say much about it because you can just go ahead and check out the review of it. You know where to find it. But as a proof of me really liking this racket, I played a tournament at some point. Check out the video to that tournament up over there. And the last match that I had to play was the final. All of my racket broke, like the strings broke, and the only racket that I had left was the Wilson Blade 18x20. And spoiler alert, I won the match. So I guess this is the best proof of me really liking this racket. And in fact, I actually seem to have liked it even more than my Gravity Pro in the moment of playing as soon as I switched to it. Maybe it had to do with the fact that, you know, the Gravity was strung a long time ago and it was kind of already used up, and this was freshly strung. But yes, the control, the feel, the stability, all of those things, the ones that I'm looking for my backhand, for my forehand, especially for my backhand. The most important thing that I loved about it is the amount of control that I get with it and the amount of stability, because, you know, every shot I take, especially if it's a backhand, I know that it's going to go in, and that just gives me like a confidence boost, which is something that I really value with any racket. And the reason why I didn't put it on the top 5 best rackets is because the gain in control and the gain in stability and the gain in feel that you get with the 18x20 pattern is kind of marginal, and that's why I don't think that it would fit most players. But those of you guys who are looking for control-oriented rackets, this is the way to go, because the 16x19, yes, it has more power, yes, it has more spin, but this is just not something that I necessarily need, and that's why, you know, that's why I prefer this thing, because it's just wonderful. And this is my top 1 favorite racket of 2024, and I'm gonna put it right here. So there you have it, Glads. This is my top 5 best favorite rackets of 2024. Let me know if any of these rackets are in your top 5 favorite rackets, because, you know, they're not very, you know, common. You know, most of them don't fit, you know, most of the players on tour and off tour, but these are just rackets that I really enjoyed and I really loved while playtesting them during this 2024. And I hope you've enjoyed this video as much as I've enjoyed making it. Don't forget that the links to the reviews and the links to buy these rackets are going to be down in the description below. My name is Grisha. You're watching Gladiators Tribe, and I will see you, Glads, in the next one. Bye-bye.